Chicago Mercantile Exchange prepared to lead the city over new mayor's tax policies. Well, you, I don't feel sorry for Chicago. They put a guy in power that's even more leftist than Lori Lightfoot. I mean, he's basically a communist. It's basically basically a socialist, bringing in socialist communist policies. Want to tax, and if Chicago Mercantile leaves, I think that is going to be the end of Chicago. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have When I Comply t-shirts. Also, check out my news site, jjthepsychotherapist.com as well. All right, let's talk about this news. The allies of Chicago's new mayor, Brandon Johnson, have released an economic plan titled, First We Get the Money. That's right. That is the literal name of the plan. First we get the money. I mean, if that doesn't sound like a socialist, I don't know what does. But the plan involves the implementation of new taxes, some of which will directly apply to the financial industry. That has the Chicago Mercantile Exchange very concerned, and they are prepared to leave the city if they feel it's necessary. Red State reports spanking new Chicago mayor monstrous tax scam has city's most iconic company threatening to leave. And as reported by the New York Post, the iconic Chicago Mercantile, CME, opened in 1898, only 27 years after the infamous Chicago fire. Proud Chicagoans herald the CME as a major part of the city's rebirth and helped establish the Windy City as a world financial hub. I mean, there's a lot of big businesses are there because of them. So imagine what will happen when they leave, if they decide to leave. But Johnson, whose far left socialist mindset exceeds even that miserably and of a failed Lightfoot, has proposed new taxes to the tune of roughly $800 million. $800 million, almost $1 trillion, including a financial transaction tax, or FTT, that would make it virtually impossible for CME to do business in Chicago. So if they don't leave behind this, then they're going to lose money. So, I mean, it's almost $1 trillion in taxes from a city. That's unheard of. That's crazy. But FTTs are levied on the buying and selling of financial assets, such as stocks, bonds, and derivative assets, and are based on a percentage of the traded assets value, with the tax being paid when a trade is made. As a longtime registered investment advisor, this is from New York Post. He says, I call bullcrap, which I've done in similar situations through the years, but the last time I checked, my vote doesn't count. However, it remains to be seen whether a direct threat from the Merc and its $66 billion market cap to the new tax and spend Chicago mayor does. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, CME CEO Terry Duffy said the exchange is prepared to leave Chicago if we had to. I mean, that's just amazing. This would be an absolute disaster for Chicago. Again, I think if they leave, so goes the rest of the businesses. I mean, look at how many businesses already left Chicago, and imagine if they don't have that huge financial institution supporting the city. What do you think is going to happen to Chicago? Somebody named Amuse tweeted out, shocked, the new Democrat run in Chicago is crazier than the last. Mayor Brandon Johnson is proposing a financial transaction tax that would make it impossible for exchanges like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange to exist. The CME is threatening to move. And then we got someone named Kelly at KL South who tweeted out, Chicago's new mayor Brandon Johnson is already bad for business. If they drive the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and other businesses out the city, Chicago will become Detroit with a better Lakeview, and that's my main point there. It will be a ghost town. Chicago will be a ghost town because everyone will leave. Chicago will lose so much money if this happened. It's hard to even imagine the ramifications this one bill would have. And I mean, and look at the name of the bill again. Who calls a bill this unless you are a proud socialist? First we get the money. That's the name of the darn bill. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? But at least they're honest about what they're doing. I give you that. They're telling you what exactly they're about. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.